Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Hard Nine podcast. I am Mike Noble, and I am joined, as always, by Caleb Noble. And today is April the 3rd, 2023. Cardinals officially season underway, 2-2 as of right now.
2-2. A pretty decent 2-2. You played really good teams so far. Man, this offense is so good, and I just really hope it's not wasted. This is the best offense in baseball. I'm saying it right now. It's the best, and no one is even close.
Yeah.
Who's close?
I think Atlanta has to be considered close, but
they have Orlando Arcia in their lineup.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not arguing with that. What I will say is, for those of you who don't know, first of all, thank you for joining us. We greatly appreciate it. Caleb's a little more ticked off than normal tonight after watching this game. I've been rewatching Succession, preparing for season 4. So that's what I've been doing tonight. Just a few things. Here's what I'll say. All right. Opening day, we were there. Let's start with that. Let's just start with that and move up to tonight, because I know we got a lot to cover. Opening day festivities in St. Louis, unbelievable. For years in the 90s, my wife and I went. Got to see the McGee walk-off home run when it was like 25, felt like 20 degrees out there. Then for a good chunk of my life, 20 to 25 years, I was coaching high school baseball. Could never go to Cardinal home openers because we either had practice or a game at 3 o'clock, right? They didn't play 7 o'clock games. It seems like it's always 3 or 1. So now the last 2 years, you and your mom and my wife, right? Same person, getting to go the last 2 years. That's what I said, the last 2 years. There is nothing like it. I missed 20 some years of it. I don't think I'll miss another one. Like we drove 10 hours to go to opening day. Like I don't think it is unbelievable. I had chills like for the first 30 minutes before the game even started, just to see, as someone who played baseball most of my younger life, and then got to coach it, coached everything, just to see like the dreams and what is going on, to watch Jordan Walker, to watch Nolan Gorman, to watch the reception of Wilson Contreras, to watch Adam Wainwright come out of nowhere and sing the national anthem. The red everywhere. Like it is, this is not a shot at any other city. But I don't believe there's anything like it in Major League Baseball.
There's not, even if Jim Crane wants to steal our fucking Clydesdales. Like they just steal everything, steal signs, steal festivities. But anyway, there's nothing like it. It's the best opening day in the world. It's not even close. At least for baseball. I don't know enough about others, about like soccer and stuff like that to know if there's stuff like that. But it is the best. It was an awesome experience. And I guess we should just start. Like, that was great. Obviously, Adam Wainwright's moment was really cool. Wilson Contreras, there being a mound visit in his first at bat was pretty cool because he got to get a bit long ovation with the pitch clock wouldn't have allowed. There's been a couple moments. I went to game 1 and 3 of the first series where I felt like there definitely would have been a curtain call. I think curtain calls are dead. They can't happen.
Too. We talked about in the stands.
Like there was back-to-back homers the other day to lead off the game. Like Burley would have definitely gotten, that's his first ever homer at Busch Stadium. He definitely would have gotten one, but there's no time for it.
Gorman hits 2 yesterday. We know St. Louis fans are going to give those out, but you're right. The pitch clock might have ruined, and we talked about this opening day. The pitch clock might have ruined.
Which, I'll be honest with you, it's kind of okay with me because sometimes St. Louis just does curtain calls in June against Pittsburgh Pirates, and it's like, well, why? But okay, let's start. Let's get into the games because we have a lot of ground to cover. Like just talking and thinking about all that's happened since opening day, I've realized we haven't covered any of it. So let's get to opening day. Weird game. I think the first 2 games, it felt like we should have won the first one and should have lost the second one, and it just flip-flopped in how the result was. So it kind of evened out in the end, like baseball tends to do. But I felt like the offense obviously was great that day. Miles wasn't great, but he wasn't bad. It just the results were bad. Bullpen wasn't good, but kind of, because every ball was dropping. Toronto had like 12 hits under 85 miles per hour or something like that. Like that, it was just a strange game, but some really cool moments. Overall, it's about as positive of an opening day loss as you could have, I think.
You scored 9 runs and lose against. Also, by the way, I owe Alek Manoah an apology. I said he was number 0. He's not. He's number 6.
Number 6.
In my head, I saw the 0. It never was there. It was 6.
Marcus Stroman was 0 there, I think.
Marcus Stroman, yes, but they do not look alike. Like
no, but he was in Toronto for a long time.
Right, that is true. That's the only. Thank you for trying to make it sound better. It's not. I was just wrong. But you score that many runs off Alek Manoah and that bullpen. You expect to win, and you're right. I mean, George Springer 5 hits, only one, I believe, above 90 miles per hour.
I think one above 85.
Yeah, well, there was his hardest was 94. I think all the others were 89 and under. I looked it up, but right.
It was bad.
Fluky, weird day. And I don't mean to get ahead of ourselves, and I don't mean to bury anybody because that's not what we do on here. But I have asked you this question many times, and I have put it on Twitter, and I will continue to say, somebody please explain Jordan Hicks to me. And I have had the conversations a lot. I've never seen a guy throw the 5 hardest balls and all of them get hit. Now, I'm not saying that he wasn't lit up day one. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't think I've ever seen a guy throw that hard. With everybody tells me, and I'm not arguing with them, how nasty his stuff is. But he is the most hittable, nasty stuff guy I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, it's quite simple, I think. He doesn't know where the ball's going. Ever. Ever. He doesn't know where the ball is going. And his stuff is gross and he can get away with a lot, but there's a problem, and we're going to talk. I don't know. I guess we'll just cover all of it since we're talking about him now. I don't want to bury the guy 3 different times because he's been bad 3 times.
Right.
But I will. It's either a ball that's not competitive or it's down the middle. You're not going to get out. I don't care if you throw 103. I don't care. You're facing today. He let's just go over the lines. He gave up the lead in game 1. That one, I'm not even going to talk about that one. That was not his fault. That was just bad.
No, I agree.
2 broken bad hits. So I'm just going to put that one to the side. Let's go to the other.
But he was also behind if he wasn't giving up,
that wasn't his fault. That wasn't his fault.
Okay.
There's nothing he can do about that. Okay, so the second game, he just gets smoked and walks everybody, and almost lets him back in the game. Thank God Ryan Helsley does what Ryan Helsley does and gets out of it for him. But that could have gone bad. He almost blew that game. And he comes into today. Ultimately it was 8-4. I'm of the belief that 6-4 after Goldie would hit that homer, it would have been a much different game because they had traffic on after. We got 4 runs going into the 9th inning against AJ Minter. It's kind of tough to have life. Gives up 2 more runs, and he's just hanging pitches over the middle of the plate. He's just not been effective. I think Jordan Hicks is a really good relief pitcher. I also think that he is the most frustrating relief pitcher we've ever had.
Yeah, and for a guy, and this is no shot at him because I'd want to do the same thing again. But for a guy who goes on record saying he's disappointed in last year with the starter, I'm not saying he's wrong either in the way that was handled. I'm not saying that. But wants another shot at the starter, bro, get somebody out. I don't know what else to say anymore. That he does there. I don't see them optioning him to AAA. He can also say no. He can say no. I don't know what you do.
I think
with him.
He might have options.
You use him.
He probably does.
I think I did some research earlier, and it's one of those things that he can be sent down. He has to agree to it. It's kind of
he's not getting sent down.
All right. No, but I don't know what you do with him.
You put him in low level situations. I hope he gets out of it.
I guess that's it.
Well, that's fine.
Then that game also we come back again, right? We come back again, and then Helsley blows it in the 9th.
Yeah, and that was also
unfortunately weird. First of all, you and I need to apologize to all the Cardinal fans because the last 2 times we've been at not now. You've been again, but the last 2 times we've been at Busch Stadium.
No, not we. Stop saying
painful.
The last 2 times
it might be our fault.
Busch Stadium. You, not me.
Maybe I will not travel north again to go to Busch Stadium.
I'm 1-0 in the last 1 game, so I don't know what you're talking about.
All right. So you're gonna have to carry the torch because I'm not coming back.
Let's move on from that game. I honestly, other than the Wilson injury, which thank God we don't really have to talk about because he's back and he's playing well. Looks great, by the way. He looks fantastic. Nothing else to really talk about from that game. I honestly they lost, but it was as confident as I could be after a loss because I don't think Miles Michaelis is gonna have struggles like that again. I think that was a fluke. That was the first time in his career. I think he didn't record a ground ball out. That doesn't happen. So that was a weird game. It is what it is. Blue Jays are a good team. They're going to hit sometimes. Go to the second game.
A few more. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Yep.
Go to the second game.
Let me go through a few more opening day things. Just really quick.
How long are we going to spend on opening day? We got a lot of stuff to get to.
I'm sorry. Am I
stepping
on your schedule?
We have a lot of stuff to get to.
Yeah. All right. I do too.
Okay. Well, then get to it.
Were you surprised that Paul DeYoung was not in attendance?
No, I I wasn't. I honestly didn't think about it.
I was.
I don't even know if I would have thought about. I don't even know if I would have thought about him if he was in attendance. I wasn't worried about it. There's too much stuff going on.
We were at 3. I was shocked because Wilking was there, Wayno was there. I was surprised Paul DeYoung.
I think he's doing. I think he's doing rehab. He's not doing it.
I get it. I'm just saying. Just a little surprised. Now the game we went to opening day 3 hours 38 minutes. I think is what the final number was for the Cardinals game. But however, opening day 26 minutes shorter than last year. That's what they're looking for. So that's what they got for. We always know opening days are longer. They're always going to be. You're using more pitchers, whatever. One thing that I think we have to say, and we'd be failed if we didn't. Jordan Walker, just the 5th guy under 20 in the last 21 years in the opening day lineup. And when you put yourself in
under
category 20? With 20 or under in the last 21 years, he's the 5th guy. When you put yourself in the category with Juan Soto, Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, and Fernando Tatis Jr., that's pretty doggone good.
Yeah, he's special. He's had a really, really good. He got robbed of a hit today, man. He hits everything so hard. If that guy can start lifting the ball, because we've heard this a long time. I think we've all been like, how is this guy not hitting more home runs in the minor leagues? It's because the dude hits everything on the ground. Okay, so he's got to start lifting the ball a little bit, but he's hitting everything hard. Like he hit a ball today on the line that had to have been 107.
Coming into today, 3rd in Major League in batted balls over 100 miles per hour, Jordan Walker.
Yeah, and he had 2 more today.
So he might have moved up the list.
Yeah, probably.
Can I ask you one more question about opening day and then we'll move on?
Am I breaking up at all?
Nope. Okay, were you concerned about Jordan Walker's defense in right field on opening day?
No.
I mean, it's a topic that people are talking about.
No, because if you expected him to be good in the outfield, you're stupid.
Dude has a cannon, though.
That's not even the point. Like he's 20 years old, has been there for 6 months.
Right.
He's played 30 games in the outfield.
Yeah, I just wanted to get your take because, again, try to hit what the topics were of that game.
No, like he's gonna get better as the season goes on. He's gonna get more comfortable in Busch Stadium. Like if anyone is complaining about that, like just shut up. Like I don't even have patience for it. He's 20 years old. He's there to hit. You watch Matt Holliday play in the outfield, and he's in your Hall of Fame. Shut the fuck up.
That's a very valid point. It's
just stupid.
Game 2, we find out Newt's hurt. All right. Now we know more. We know more about that. Hey, shout out Juan Yepez. Hold up. Newt on the IL, the 10-day IL. Glad that Juan's back soon. Right, you nailed it. You nailed it.
Sucks with Newt. He's going to be fine. He'll be back, I imagine, right when the 10 days is up. I don't even think they probably wanted to put him on there. But if he's going to be unavailable, you need to have that bench spot with somebody there. Glad Juan's back. I mean, you can use him. That's about it. Like that's all I have to say. Really, I'm glad Juan's back. Right. He's making more money the next couple of weeks.
Yeah, needs more time for Alec Burleson in the outfield right now.
We'll talk about him in a little bit because that guy's on fire.
Game 2, you see Kevin Gausman, another guy. People were upset about the lineup. People just get mad about every little thing. But whatever. Newt obviously injured. You got Burley hitting second. Love that, by the way. Love that. And they come out and get a nice win. I mean, Jack, very oddly, no hitter, walks 7 and
hits a guy.
Yeah, and hits a guy through 5 innings, gives up no runs, no hits. Could be a little juice for his first game. I mean, you never know. You never know what's going on.
Well,
we need him to be more efficient.
Well, he talked about it. He said he couldn't really feel his fingers because it was really cold and windy.
It was.
He just didn't know where he didn't know where the ball was going. It is what it is. The thing for me, one, he has to be the only pitcher ever to go through his first start with a 1.4 whip or whatever it is, and to not give up a hit. Like that probably has never happened before in his first, like ever. But the thing about that is, I think one, he showed a lot of maturity, saying I've gotten frustrated. Last year I was frustrated a lot. Like it didn't help me; it made me worse. So I tried not to get frustrated. I just made the pitches I could make to get outs, made the next pitch, which is great. That's what he needs to do. But also, I think for Jack, everyone knows, including him, that when he is dominant, when he's got his best stuff, he's dominant. He knows that.
Right.
We all know that. For me, it's what can Jack do when he's not, when he doesn't have the 97 and the slider that's getting 50% people whiffing on it. What can he do with that? I think it's big for him to go out there and see that Miles Michaelis just gave up a bunch of runs and we gave up 10. And then the next day he comes out and doesn't even have his stuff, but still doesn't give up a hit or a run through 5 innings. Like that's something to build on for Jack. So I think it wasn't a good start by any means, but it's something I think he can build on, I hope. And
we worried about his velo being down.
No, because he said he did it on purpose to try and locate.
Okay, there we go. Just wanted to get that out there. Game 3 was en route back to the 504 down here. You were sending updates. I was driving. Your mom was relaying everything. You went to the game. Picked the right game to go to, by the way. I want to get to Nolan Gorman in a little bit, but obviously it was the Nolan Gorman show. Montgomery, not incredible, but weathered the storm.
He was fine
and got him through what he needed to do. I think, unfortunately, we're going to be saying that a lot. Not incredible, weathered the storm. That seems to be the first week mantra of this pitching staff.
The thing that I kind of want to take a step back a little bit, because I was pissed off before we started recording because of the pitching. And here's the thing that I'm thinking now. Just now in my head. What have the Cardinals done to the starting pitchers they faced so far? Manoah, ace, right? Yeah, he's an ace. They shelled him. Like, he did not pitch well at all. Gosman didn't have any earned runs, I don't think, but he gave up 3. Matt Chapman made a rare error, doesn't happen very often. Gosman's really good. If you're gonna put a little bit of Cy Young money and want some value, put it on that guy because he can win one. He's really, really good. And then third day, Chris Bassett's a really, really good pitcher, and they scored 9 runs off him in 3 1/3. So.
And we saw Bassett's quote about the lineup.
I think a lot. Yeah. Yes. Right. I think a lot of our frustrations right now is 4 times, like 4 people have started games for us. So almost the entire rotation. We'll see Matt's tomorrow. None of them have been good. Not one has had a good outing. Like, let's be honest. Jax didn't give up any runs, but it was by no means a good Jack Flaherty outing. So that's frustrating. But none of the people we faced have had a good outing. Like, you know what I mean? Morton wasn't good. I think the thing is we're facing really good offenses at a time where we normally face Pittsburgh and Cincinnati and Chicago and even Milwaukee, who's not bad, but they're not great offenses at least. And I think we're getting frustrated, but this is just kind of what happens when you face elite teams.
Well, and we've seen DeGrom be terrible. We've seen
Wheeler and Nola
and Wheeler both get shelled. That's what I was going to say.
Do you think a pitch clock is
Robbie Ray gets, that's what I was going to ask you. So you just stepped all over the brilliant question that was coming into my mind.
Why was I supposed to know that?
I was going to get your take on. Well, that's why you let me.
You want me
finish.
to answer? I'll answer it, I guess, if you want me to.
Chill, Caleb. Let Mike cook.
Okay. I don't know. Because I can't get in the minds of those guys. I think they probably adjusted to it. Today, there were a couple calls on that they need to adjust that fucking rule about 8 seconds to get in the box. That's so fucking stupid. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. I hate it so much. Burleson high-fived somebody that scored today and then before he could get in the box, he had a violation because he high-fived his teammate.
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, they've got to fix it. I
fix
agree.
That, please.
I agree.
But I don't know because once again, like I'd have to talk to DeGrom. I'd have to talk to Wheeler and Nola. They might just have their stuff that.
Why don't you do that? I mean, what else?
I would love to sit down with Jacob DeGrom, trust me, but I don't think that's going to happen. I don't know the answer. I think we'll see once people get used to it. I expect it to settle down. Maybe it's a lot of it is, hey, we're saying a lot of balls are falling. Well, the shift is making a difference. I saw Nolan Gorman get 2 hits today alone that would have been outs last year because he's pulling them on the ground. So I think there's a lot going into it. I think shifts have a part of it. I think people are adjusting to the pitch clock. I think hitters are just being way more aggressive because of the pitch clock. They're getting in ready to hit and not taking their time. So it's interesting, but I think it'll level out, right? It's going to level out soon. Pitchers are still going to be elite.
You talked about the aggressiveness, and I had just mentioned the Chris Bassett comment. For those of you who don't know, after the game on Sunday, Chris Bassett said, this is from Keegan Matheson. He covers the Blue Jays, I believe, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm a little bit at a loss for words. I've never had a game like this where 6 different pitches were getting hit so hard. He said the Cardinals were way more aggressive than normal and commended their lineup as well. I mean, they come at you in waves, bro. They come at you in waves with this lineup.
Yes.
With Jordan Walker hitting 8 and Tommy Edman hitting 9. I mean, we can pull it up going into tonight.
That game,
I mean, it's unbelievable what this lineup is doing.
Let's get into that game because we haven't gotten that game yet.
Sure.
That game, obviously, great moment. I've never seen a first inning like this in my life, so I was very thankful to be there. First pitch of the game, Donnie jumps him for a homer, his second of the year. So he's now 40% of the way to his total from last year, which was 5. So that's great for him. Then 2 pitches later, Burley, I don't know if he hit that ball. He had to hit that ball 85 miles per hour. He just got it up into the wind. It landed in the little box in left field. So that was awesome. You get down, Nolan grounded into 2 double plays and nobody even cared because we were hitting by so much. But he grounded to a double play. And then Wilson gets on. Gorman hits one of the farthest home runs I've ever seen a lefty hit in that stadium, I think.
It was unbelievable.
Deep into the bleachers. That was like that Brandon Moss homer. I think I was at the game for that one too.
We were.
But so that was awesome. And then obviously Gorman does it again. Burley threw 2 extra base hits. One should have been an error, but we'll call it an extra base hit. the whole offense was clicking. And the coolest thing about this, not just this game, one, like we already said, they're hitting really good pitching. Last year, what did they struggle with? They could not hit good right-handed pitching, dominant right-handed pitching. We saw it the whole year. We saw it in the postseason. The big difference, Burleson, Gorman, Donovan, and I'll count Carlson and Edmund in that because they're batting left-handed against those pitchers. Combined batting 395 in the series with over 1,000 OPS.
Just to give the stats after series 1, 2-1 could have easily, by the way, swept the Blue Jays. Like honestly, we could argue should have swept the Blue Jays.
Well, I was saying, I think they should have won the first game, but should have lost the second game. So baseball evened out.
Weighted runs created. I tried to figure out the formula in this big old brain. I can't. I just need to know. All you need to know, and all I need to know is 100 is league average. So anything above that is very good.
Generally,
it's like OPS plus. Tried to figure it out. It couldn't. I was putting that. I was like, no, I'm done.
Generally,
Donovan, 204.
I was gonna say, hold on before you go. I was gonna say, generally, your OPS plus and your WRC plus are fairly similar out of the header. They're fairly close.
After series 1, we're not talking to the Pirates, and no, this is not a shot at the Pirates, but this was Manoah, Gosman, and Bassett. Donovan 204, Newt 153, Goldie 244, Nato 116. My pick to click, by the way, the first series. Contreras 232, Gorman 357, Burley 290, O'Neill 140, Walker 136, poor Tommy at 92. NL rank 1, MLB rank 1. Now again, they did lose tonight, so everybody will say, "Well, they're only 2-2, whatever." Yeah, okay,
they
I get
hit
it.
The Braves tonight,
but this team will come at you. There is no, let's take a deep breath. We can get through the 8-9 guys or the 7-8 guys. I mean, you say 8-9 because that used to be the pitcher. The 7-8 guys, the 6-7. That is not a thing anymore. That isn't like right now. Could they all go on prolonged slumps? Maybe. I'd be shocked.
Unlikely.
Right.
Because even now, like, think about, first off, the guy we haven't, no one was talking about because we were all excited about Burley and about Gorman and about Donnie and all the young guys they were stepping up. Also, Carlson went 3 for 4 this series. Then only got 4 bats and he got 3 hits and smoked the ball to end the game tonight. But Goldie's batting over 500. He's batting over
after
500.
He hit 500 in spring training and hit
and was ridiculous.
Like a 700 OBP in the World Baseball Classic.
Yeah, but so to put it into perspective, now we've played 4 games after tonight. 52 hits. Okay. They got 52 hits in 4 games. Pretty good. Also, in game 1 and game 3, every single player on their team had a hit. Both of those games. Yeah. That doesn't happen. Ever.
Well, you and I talked last time on the last pod. I think I said it, but I think we were in the same idea there that you don't have to have all 9 going. You need 3 going. Because if 3 are going, then another 1 or 2 here are going to pop up. But if you have
going right now.
5 go, right? If you have 5 or 6 going,
they've got 11.
That becomes, I understand, but you know what I'm saying? Like for a prolonged
No, I'm saying that's what's crazy. Like, they have 11 going right now.
I know.
What scares me about in a week when they're going to have no one going against Milwaukee. But
maybe not. I mean, maybe not. Like, here's what I'll say. I'm not going to jump on that I won't. I'm not going to jump on it was Jeff Albert. It wasn't, because he like all these young guys that are raking right now for us. He developed them.
He did.
All right. He right. But I will say this, and I'm not saying it was him. I'm not saying it's the new guy. I'm not saying any of that. All right. I'm not saying new guy. Wanted to give him Turner
Ward.
Yeah, Turner Ward. I was thinking Taylor Ward. I was like, no, he's still playing. Anyway, they do appear way more aggressive early in the count with balls in the zone, which, by the way, is something you and I have been screaming at the TV for I don't know, 15 years, maybe longer.
And to highlight that, yesterday, Bassett had given up, I want to say 5 runs. It was before Gorman's second 2-run home run. And I looked up and I was like, I wonder, he was at like 35 pitches. He'd given up 5 runs. I was like, and then he gave it up. And then like 5 seconds later, it was 7 because Gorman hit a bomb. I looked up, he had like 40 pitches, giving up 7 runs. He was taking out, they had kept him in the game because he needed to get work, but it was like, he ended up giving 9 and throwing like 90 pitches because they got a couple scoreless streaks or whatever it was. No, scoreless innings. What the fuck? But anyway, like they are being really aggressive and they're still walking. Also, struck out only 13% of the time. which is the lowest in major leagues. So they're not.
You and I have talked about it a lot as former hitters, not anywhere near that level, like not even in the same. Almost. But it does make your job. Like I was a guy who I went after first pitch a lot. Probably wasn't the prototypical guy you'd want doing that, but that's what I did. Because I did not want to find myself in an 0-2 or a 1-2 count. I wanted to get on base early. So I think that transfers to every level of baseball. Obviously, different pitchers are different, but it does appear that the aggressiveness is paying off. Before we get to the series, just a couple things. Thank you guys again so much. You guys have been awesome. We really appreciate everything. I think I keep telling you to subscribe up top. Caleb says it's at the bottom. My apologies, but there is a subscription button for those of you watching on YouTube. For those of you listening on Apple and Spotify, thank you. We apologize. We've had a little issues going on back and forth with some things. We do have the latest pod is up. This one will be up as you're listening to it. You will know that it's already up. So we do apologize for a little delay there, but also know that you can always find us on YouTube. Like all of our videos are up on YouTube. And even if you just like to listen and don't want to see our faces, we're not arguing, but you could just listen to us on there. But for everybody right now, if you could hit that subscription button, it's free. It costs you nothing. You don't get any spam emails. You don't get anything. Caleb will not call your house late at night. There will be none of that. It just is really something good for our podcast to help promote us and hopefully continue to give the content that we can continue to give you guys. So thank you all. Thank you all so much. Appreciate that. Just wanted to get that out.
All right. I don't have anything to add. I'll just
no. You don't have to add. You can transition.
Okay, cool.
I agree. Is what you were gonna say. I agree with everything he said.
Yeah. Okay. So this is gonna be weird. So our plan moving forward is to do I'm gonna say probably podcast on Monday afternoon and Thursday, depending on how series work out. Obviously, 4-game series stuff that will change that, but to do one after every series, basically after and before, so it'd be the same. Mm-hmm. But that obviously didn't work. We were both traveling yesterday to get back to our respective places after opening weekend, so we weren't able to. So I guess we should just talk about game one here today. I know you didn't watch much of it. I'll run through it briefly. Not much happened other than Jake Woodford not being very good. And then we can talk about, we'll just do our picks for the next 2 games. So who's going to be the best for the next 2 games to set the series.
All right. And then I got a few other guys that I think we got to give some props to. So yeah, we'll get to that.
Okay. We can get to that after. So I'll just do a quick rundown. The offense was still there. Out hit the Braves 12-10. It just seems like every inning this team has a chance to score, and that is so exciting. Like it really is, and I think it's going to be that way the whole year because, like you said, people are going to go on slumps. It's not going to be all 9 guys getting hits every night. Obviously, that's unsustainable. But what it can be is having one out of every. Like you're going to have 3 segments of a lineup is what I look at it. You got 1 through 3, 4 through 6, 7 through 9. You're probably going to have a guy in each one of those areas that's going to be hitting at any point in time. So I think there's so much traffic. It's hard to pitch to. And all night, you just get that feeling that they're going to come back. They didn't. But I like that it's no longer like last year at this time. We were like, oh, they're down 8-4. The game's over. Like, there's no chance. So that's a positive takeaway. Jake Woodford was awful, like so bad that he gave up 6 runs.
So I think.
And the thing about it, though, I'll give him props because he gave up 6 runs through 2 innings. Austin Riley hit the farthest homer I've ever seen from a righty in the stadium. I'm not even kidding. It went over the bleachers past the bullpen. I've never seen that before. So he did that. Acuna got him. Albies got him on a ball that had a 250 expected batting average. So that one was wind aided, but the other 2 were legit. But after that, he did give them 7 more outs without giving up a run. So at the very least, he saved 7 outs from your bullpen having to get it.
Right.
So I'll give him props for that. That is a good thing to do. I don't know if Jake Woodford's long for the rotation. I don't know if he makes another start. But what I do know is he was really bad today against a really good lineup, but not good.
So credit. What we do know is Libby was really good over the weekend.
He was, and I don't know if it's so here's the thing that's weird to me. If you plop Libby in Woodford's spot right now, do you want to go Monty, Libby, Matz, 3 lefties in a row?
No. And here's my other question to you, because honestly, don't know. Do we have any idea how long Waino is out?
He threw a bullpen today.
Okay, so it might not matter. You might just give Woodford another start, and he'll
be out longer than that. He's got to build up still.
Okay.
He'll have to probably.
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting.
Rehab starts. I don't think Waino's back early May That's my guess. I could be wrong.
Oh, really? Okay. Okay.
But I just think you have to build up. I mean, when you're a pitcher building up, like you have to wait every 5 days, so it takes a while.
Right. Right.
But he hasn't even started that process yet, and it's April 3rd already. Offensive highlights: Jordan Walker looks really good. We didn't even talk about it. He had a huge RBI in Game 2 when they ended up winning the first game of the year that they won. Huge RBI there. He had a big RBI today that got them back into the game and made it 6-4, I believe, 6-3. So they started getting back in the game.
Big RBI in Game 1.
Yeah, big RBI in Game 1, big RBI in Game 2.
And also, by the way,
RBI
did not mention first at bat, Major League at bat, he gets a hit.
First swing.
First swing. Yeah.
On a slider. So that was great to see. Smoked the pitch yesterday for a double. He's hitting breaking balls really well right now. I think he's starting to adjust. Like everyone freaks out about him struggling. Maybe that was the best thing for him to struggle at the end of spring training. He's starting to adjust to it. He's looked really good. Gorman, another 2 hits with a walk today. He looks awesome.
Our guy, Caleb, that's like, he's going to have, like, here's the thing. There are going to be, I mean, it's major leagues. There's going to be,
struggle.
We saw Trout. What did we see Trout last year go through a ridiculous
for 25,
amount of games without getting it? Yeah, something like that. There's going to be moments. But what I have noticed with him is two things, and I'll say those and then I'll get your take on it. One, the club obviously addressed a few needs with his swing and his holes in his swing.
And he addressed them.
He addressed them. Thank you for stealing what I was saying.
Well, you said they addressed it. They didn't. He did.
No, I think they addressed it with him.
Well, I get it, but I was
worked his ass off in the offseason.
No, that's what I was saying.
To address it.
I wanted to give him credit for also.
I was getting there. I didn't know. Two, that's okay. That's okay. But two, also what you're seeing is a guy who just looks more confident. Like, and obviously with success comes confidence, and with confidence comes success. Chicken and the egg argument, right? I don't know which it is. However, he just looks. I watched him in the game on Saturday. But also, we just watched him on Thursday, like taking at bats, not swinging at pitches that in the past we've seen him chase. Even ahead in counts, he wasn't. So to see the patience, I didn't look the numbers up, should have, but he has a handful of walks already. Like 5. He has been on base. Not the there. It games. Is. Boom. Thank you. Like, he has 5 in the first 4 games. He just looks like a different player. And again, you don't know if it's confidence breeds success or success breeds confidence. I don't care how you want to argue it or how you want to split that atom. But he just right now looks like a different guy. And I almost wonder, and you and I talked about this before, if all the talk about Jordan Walker kind of allowed him to not be the focal point of spring training. Yeah,
I mean, at the very least, if I do believe if Wynn and Walker weren't there, Gorman would have been the story of spring training because he looked really good in spring training. Yeah, he looks great. We didn't even talk about it. He had the big RBI, 2 RBI single against Gosman. That was huge. Yep. That's what won them the game. So he's been in the middle of every single game. He looks really good. He looks confident, like you said. I love that Ollie's sticking with him. It would have been easy for Ollie to go into this year and say, "Hey, we like Burleson. They said Gorman, you're DHing. He's DH'd every game. He batted 6th to 9th. I mean, tonight he batted 6th tonight. They moved him up behind Wilson, which I love that. That's where he should be.
He was hitting 5th the other day when Wilson was out.
Yeah, and God, they have fucking Tyler O'Neill and Jordan Walker batting 7th and 8th. And we don't have any fucking pitching. Anyway, like this team, I love him in the middle of the lineup. He breaks up the right-handedness really well. That's why he should be batting 6th. I think we said that before opening day that that's what we wanted, was him batting 6th. So great for him. He was my pick to click for the series. So I actually think we should keep tallies of this because it is fun that we're doing this, but we should make it mean something. So I think I have 1 point on the board in terms of how many people, and no, you have 0 because you picked the superstar that didn't come through. You chalked and you still lost.
Here's what everyone knows watching or listening to this
podcast. I want to keep.
One of us will keep score. There is no doubt about it.
Well, no,
one of us will keep score.
I think it'd be interesting.
It will not be me. No, but one of us will know.
Okay, hold on. Shut the fuck up for a second. I will think it'd be interesting if we keep track of it, or else why are we making the predictions? Why do you make predictions? It'd be like placing a bet and not getting the money if you win. That's the point. So
that happens to me quite a bit. Where I don't get the bet, but
we both predicted 203. So we got that. Both of us got that right. Got the wrong games because we both were going to opening day, so we were not predicting we were going to lose opening day, but we did, and we won the other 2. Still 2 of 3. Let's move on to this series. So, like we said, 1 game's already down, a loss, which is how the other series started. Good news is we're not facing Max Fried. Bad news is he's hurt. That sucks. Good news is we're missing Spencer Strider. just good news there because he's fine.
Right.
Kyle Wright also hurt, not facing him. We just faced Morton, who I would say is probably their best starter that's healthy besides Strider, right? So you get Dodd and an MLB debut tomorrow, and I don't even know if they've announced who's pitching in 2 days. I should probably check that. What are your predictions for the next 2 days, player and series?
Well, I've gone on record on here, and I've gone on record on Twitter and other places, in that I'm not going to go as far as what Greg Gamsinger said, but I am expecting a Steven Matz bounce back year. So I am really hopeful. I mean, it's a tough matchup. That's what I'm saying. Like, the Cardinals lineup, yes. The Braves lineup does not stop coming at you either. I understand the Arcia, but the opposite argument could be Tommy Edman. Like, it really could be. It could.
You
it could right now. It could.
You didn't just compare Tommy Edman to Orlando Arcia.
It's not what I did.
You did. It actually is exactly what you just did.
But you're getting a guy that's not right now going to give you a lot of production.
I have a question.
And he's not. He's going to eventually.
Who's our DH right now?
Nolan Gorman.
Who's our left fielder? Burleson, Walker, O'Neill.
Yeah.
There? Okay. Do we have Marcelo Ozuna in our lineup?
No.
What about Eddie Rosario?
Yeah, okay.
What about Orlando Arcia?
Had some really good years. So is
all three of those guys.
I'm not going to get into the semantics of that.
Okay, hold on. But I want to highlight how good this Cardinal lineup is. I would take two guys on our bench over the bottom three in the Braves lineup tonight, which was Arcia,
Ozuna and Rosario both.
They suck.
A lot of success at the big league level.
Yes, they suck now.
Okay. All right. There you go.
They were horrible last year. Either way.
Yeah, I'm not going to argue that.
Give me the predictions. But either way, the Cardinals lineup's the best in the league. I'm sticking by that.
I think Matz comes out tomorrow night and pitches well. I really do.
Okay, me too.
I think the Cardinals, here's what we know, Cardinal history, struggle with a guy they've never seen before, but this is a different group of Cardinals. However, it seems like that never matters. From my 40 years of watching Cardinal baseball, it feels like it has always been the same. I still think they win tomorrow night. I think they win tomorrow night. And I also think Miles figures it out. Now, he has to figure it out. That's sort of where I'm going with that. Miles Michaelis, who just got a 2-year extension, which is that's what makes me nervous about some of these extensions, has to be Miles Michaelis. It does. It's one start. I'm not going to overrate. I understand it.
We had to extend somebody.
You didn't, but again, that's okay.
Yeah, let's go in there.
He has to be Miles Michaelis.
Yes,
like he does. Whatever the flaws were, and whatever it was, and I know there were some fluky things. I'm not pushing the panic button on Miles. I'm not doing that. But he has to come out and be Miles against the Braves.
So, what's your prediction?
I think we win the next two.
Okay, who's the player of the two games? Because now it's
Goldie.
We're never doing this again.
Goldie.
Yeah, choosing the guy that hit a homer today. Okay. Well, here's the thing. So the thing that's interesting to me tomorrow, one, we don't know
who's not hitting. Who did you want me to pick, Tommy?
Nolan. Arenado. The thing that's Tommy had 2 hits today. You lay off Tommy. Anyway,
I'm not.
Anyway, the thing that's interesting is one, a lot of the guys hitting right now. I mean, Donnie probably be in the lineup tomorrow just because he's in the lineup every day. But I doubt Gorman is against a lefty. Dodd is a lefty. I don't know about Burleson won't be either. I don't think they'll probably.
I think we see Juan Yepez tomorrow.
They'll go. You think they go Walker, O'Neill, Carlson in outfield, and then Yepez DHing?
I do. Yeah, I do. I could be wrong, but if you're going to get a lefty first big league start,
the one thing I'd be a little worried about is I doubt he has a long leash. So then you're just going to have to make a lot of substitutions and your bench is really thin. So, but we'll see.
But you can do that. You can do that.
I know, but then you get into late innings and you can't substitute anymore. We'll see what happens. But
I mean, but without, you know what I mean? But with the DH, you don't necessarily have to substitute late innings.
But they do if you want an advantage. Yeah, you don't want Nolan Gorman facing AJ Minter in the last inning. What it would come down to. But so my prediction, I would say, I think they win. You said they win the next two. Is that what you said?
I did.
Yeah, I think so too. I think Miles is going to pitch as well as you can against a really good lineup. Like, let's be honest, the Braves, if they score 3 or 4 off of them, sometimes that's just because they're a really good lineup. It's not because Miles sucks. Right. So I think they win both of them. My player to watch, since there's only 2 games left and I don't know how the matchups are going to work down, I'm going to pick a pitcher. I think Miles Michaelis is going to have a quality start and lead us to the win. I think tomorrow's going to be maybe a weird game where they end up winning it. It might be like a 5-4 game where it's kind of a strange game, but I think he's going to shove and come back and pitch well. He's really good at home. It's a day game. I have a lot of confidence in Miles and a getaway day for Atlanta. So that's my prediction. Miles Michaelis is my player to watch.
Okay. All right. I like it. And then obviously we have the Brewers on tap. We go to Milwaukee this weekend.
A really good first week of. I don't love playing an American League team on opening day necessarily, but I do like the fact that we're starting out with really good teams. And guess what? The Cardinals blew out the Blue Jays. They have not gotten blown out yet. Like they've been in every game, looked really good. I mean, if this has done anything for you, God dang it, if they're freaking pitching. If they can just get some elite pitching, this team, I mean, the sky's the limit for them. Like, seriously.
Let's talk about that for just a minute, because I'm not going to. Here's the thing. Everybody has been screaming they should have signed an ace. And this is, you can blame the organization for this, and I'm fine with that. I'm not saying, but you had yourselves locked into 5 starters, which is sort of goes back to my point about it does make me nervous on extensions. But you locked yourself into 5 when you signed Waino to a $17 million deal. You were locked into that. None of those 5, and I'm not saying that you can't make an argument that you could have put one of those in the bullpen. I don't believe you could have, but they weren't going to. Like, that's not what was going to happen. You and I have talked about on here before, the only way you were going to make a trade is if you trade a Montgomery, or at the time, maybe a Michaelis, which we didn't think was going to happen. It would have just been Montgomery. But right. I'm just saying that's the only way. But we also saw in the offseason, the only trade for a valuable pitcher, right, was Pablo Lopez. And the Twins gave up Luis Ariz for him, who won the batting title in the American League. Now, Ken Rosenthal reported that when we were talking to him that he speculated all these names. That doesn't mean shit. It was a speculation. Nobody heard from the Cardinals or the Marlins any names that were involved, so we have no idea.
At least we know they didn't from the Cardinals because they don't say anything.
Correct. So what I'm going to say is the Cardinals kind of pigeonholed themselves into this rotation, and whether we love it or not, we're stuck with it again. And this is multiple years they've done this now. And it is something they're going to have to address, no doubt, at the deadline in the offseason, because next year you only have, right now, Miles and Matt coming back.
I also want to say one more thing, because about that, the offseason in particular. If you look at it right now, Verlander's hurt, Rodon's hurt, DeGrom, no chance in hell would I ever sign that contract. I love Jacob DeGrom, and God, I hope it looks like a steal, because I hope he dominates the entire contract, because he is. I put him in the Hall of Fame. That's how fucking good that guy is. But like, I don't think I would have done any of those. And looking back on it, they haven't started off great. I don't any of them, and Rodon got shelled. So it was a weird offseason where you felt like the top guys were going to get crazy contracts coming off of labor peace, because that's just what always happens the year after. So you knew that was going to happen. So you can kind of just rule out Rodon, Verlander, DeGrom off the bat. And then you feel like the next guys, they just weren't upgrades. Like, let's be honest, if we would have signed Chris Bassett, that was probably the next best guy, I thought, at least, because he was great in 2022. And he would have gone out there and given up 9 earned runs and 3.1 innings like he did. Well, like, we would be freaking out. Like, who did we just sign to a 3-year deal at the age of 35? So I do want to say, I want to relax a little bit, because like I said, we haven't had a good start yet. We haven't had a good start yet, though. So that is a little unsettling. Like, at least the Blue Jays, Gosman was really good. And I don't want to take away Jack Flaherty being able to battle through. I thought that was really great and showed a lot of character. But let's be honest, 7 walks and a hit by pitch is not good. It's just not. Right. Not sustainable. Agreed. That's John Gant type pitching. Don't do that again, Jack. But, we'll see. We're facing good lineups, too. And it seems around the league, good pitching normally beats good hitting. Not what's happening right now. So we'll just see how it plays out. Like, it'll all even out. I mean, maybe Matz and Michaelis have 2 really good starts the next 2 days. And then it's like, okay, we're starting to get something going. The person I'm worried about, I just don't know what to expect from Jake Woodford moving forward. And I almost wonder why he even started this game, because I feel like you're facing Atlanta, you're facing Toronto, 2 of the best teams in baseball, and you have an off day in between the first and second game. Why don't you start Matz today, and why don't you start Michaelis tomorrow, and then Flaherty on Wednesday? I don't know why you want to just skip him.
Yeah, I think that's an interesting point. Maybe they just didn't want Woodford to not pitch for that long.
I guess, like that.
I think that's what it has to be.
I just think with the tiebreaker rule, you got to beat NL contending teams, because it could matter.
MLB wanted faster games. They're getting them. They wanted more offense. They're getting them. Fans are pissed the pitching isn't good. But if you look at the other 2 rules that MLB created, like, it has sort of right now bared witness at the expense of the starting of pitchers. It really has. And there could be zero correlation, but in my mind, coincidences aren't always just a thing.
Also, like, there's an adjustment period too, so we'll see how in the long run it plays out. It could not do much. I do know there are a lot more base hits getting through the infield. That's going to continue to happen because if you're the way you think about it, you get guys on. I was kind of thinking about this, and we talked about how the shift may not be as limited as you think. But then I realized for lefties, it really is because you can't have that shortstop starting on the left-hand side of the bag. So you have to put that guy, like, you're not going to put your second baseman where you'd normally be behind the first baseman in a shift because then you got the whole side of the infield open. So there's going to be a lot of hits getting through for lefties, which, like I said, going to be good for Gorman. Newbar hits the ball hard on the ground a lot. Tommy, how many times does that dude roll over in a season? He's going to get a lot of hits. Carlson, too. So we're going to see that. I just think 4 games, obviously, we don't know what to think yet. I'm not going to overreact. I would just feel a lot better if Mats went out there and gave us our first good start tomorrow, please.
I mean, also to be fair, like, and I'm not making excuses, but we did our power rankings. That's 2 of the top 5 teams that we had on our power rankings right there. In the Blue Jays and the Braves.
Like, I know
those lineups are unbelievable.
Unbelievable. I know I just crapped on the bottom third of the Braves, but the top 6, like, my goodness, the top 6 is loaded. Like, that's a really, really good baseball team. So
also, we were in left field. Great seats, by the way. Thank you to you for winning a SeatGeek competition, and we got those really good seats. So thank you, SeatGeek. But also, Dalton Varsho is much larger in person than I knew that he was. That dude is put together. He looks like a middle linebacker.
Yeah, he is a stud, dude. He is so good. He is
very good.
Like, he made a play yesterday.
George Springer, very, very good.
He made a play. Yeah, George Springer's a stud. He made a play yesterday. Varsho did. I don't know how he fucking got to that ball. He's really good. He's a fun player too. The fact that you look at that guy, he can catch. Like, the dude's a unicorn. We talk about Shohei being a unicorn. Varsho, there's not many Varshos out there.
Right.
That guy is rare. He's really good.
Any update on our graphics for our starting lineups?
I just got past the hell that I was in, so I'm almost done with it. It's getting there.
Woo-hoo!
But
Woo-hoo!
I had one of the worst school 2 weeks of my life recently. So we're past that. Thank God. We got on the other side of it, alive and well. But
yeah,
before we get out of here and before we start wrapping it up, because we need to wrap it up, we've been going on for a while. Is there anything that you think concerns you? Does the bullpen we didn't really talk about the bullpen. Like, it's been okay. Or the lineup, like
Jordan Hicks concerns me.
Jordan Hicks, yeah.
Honestly, Helsley concerns me a little bit.
He's been great his last outing. He was really good.
Yeah.
He got 5 outs and was lights out.
I'm intrigued to see, with Newt out now, it changes a little bit. I'm intrigued to see how we use Dylan Carlson, because it definitely felt like after the first series, he was the 5th outfielder. And he went from being a guy who you penciled in every day in center field to now being the 5th outfielder. Now, we can argue matchups. I'm not casting aspersions on anyone. That's just how I felt that's what it kind of felt like, that now you got Dylan Carlson as your 5th outfielder. And that I'm just intrigued to see how we use him this year.
Well, that's the thing, though. Like, that's the great thing about competition. Like, he got 3 hits against a righty yesterday. Or 2 days ago, as you're listening to this. So that's going to get him more looks against those types of righties. But if there's a righty and they say, like, he talked about this against Gosman, he said Gosman's fastball rides up in the zone really well. Dylan Carlson can't hit that. Alec Burleson hits it very well. So why would you not take the advantage there? That's the thing.
Agreed.
And for me, like, I feel bad for Dylan in a sense because he lost his job in a year where he was injured. Like, he was injured. I believe if he was fully healthy, he probably wouldn't have lost it. He'd probably be starting right now. But at the end of the day, you've got to perform. Like, he's gotten more than enough chances to take the job and run with it. And like you say, like, you don't leave a crack because someone can bust right through it. Jordan Walker ran through the crack, and he's gonna have to win it back, and that's how it should be.
So did Nolan Gorman. One last thing I want to say, and then I don't have anything else. We'll go around Major League Baseball next time to kind of take a look at how some other teams are doing, but just kind of want to get your take on Anthony Rendon. Today suspended 5 games. I will quickly say this, and then I'll let you finish it, and then we'll get out of here. Fans have gotten way too comfortable in the stands. They've gotten way too comfortable on social media. They've gotten way too comfortable wherever, right? I understand all of that, and I hate it. We've seen what Westbrook did. We've seen it happen in the NBA. Right. We saw the malice in the palace. We've seen all of that. But you just can't, like, I'm not even saying he's at fault. And if this is at a bar, it's probably a different argument, right? However, you are a professional athlete on the field. This is a paying fan. What that guy probably said was despicable. Can't stand it. Can't have it. Don't want it. Don't need it. Anthony, as a player, you just can't react the way he did. I'm not saying that the human doesn't kick in and we wouldn't do the same. I'm not saying that. But I think, honestly, the 5-game suspension, he kind of got off a little bit light, if we're being honest.
Yeah, he could have gotten assault charges, to be honest. Like, glad he didn't. Don't think he deserves it. But here's my thing. Two things can be true in a situation. One, I am very anti that fan, and I'm very pro Anthony Rendon. I didn't mind what he did. He didn't punch him. He didn't do it. He did grab his shirt. He did give him a little slap, get a little swat.
He did try to hit him.
I don't think he tried that hard, or he would have done it when he had his shirt. Like, he was close enough to hit him if he wanted to. I do think he kind of just swatted at him. It wasn't like he didn't try to punch him. I didn't mind it because at the same time, like, at some point, like, you're talking shit, and then you're gonna be you're gonna go in his face, and then when you're in Anthony Rendon's face, you're gonna say you didn't say anything. Like, why are you talking? But I can say that I'm not an advocate for violence, so I would have preferred him to just tell him off or something, probably. But at the same time, I get it because Rendon's gone through a lot, man. The last 2 years have been tough on Anthony Rendon since he signed that big contract. Injuries, underperformance. They just lost to the A's, who suck, and they know they suck. They need to win games like that. I get how that all boils up into being frustrated. But with that all being said, I thought, he deserves to be suspended. Like, you can't have that. You can't have fans being, that altercations to be happening. But at the same time, like, fans, know your place, man. Go enjoy the game.
100%.
Go heckle people. 100% okay with go heckle people. Know your lane. Know where the line is, and don't cross it. That's where I'm at with it. But if I'm Rendon, point him out and say, don't let that guy back in here. Do something like that.
That guy right there. Yep.
Yeah, but don't at that point he won. Like, you don't let the guy win. Like, you're
also, by the way, that guy'd be really easy to find because no one was at the A's games.
Yeah, right.
Here's the one thing I will say. Fan comes on to the field, wide open. It's open season on Fan at that point, as far as I'm concerned. We saw in the NFL last year where the dude got trucked. Loved that.
Bobby Wagner.
Loved it. Like, you come on the field, it's open season, bro, on you.
Well, you're not putting them
when you're in the stands. I just think, and I'm not bashing Anthony Rendon. I'm just saying, at that point, with your status versus his, you have to just keep walking. You have or turn around. And if you want to blast a dude verbally. No problem. You just can't grab him. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, the thing, he has nothing to lose. You have everything to lose, right? Like, that's what it is. If it were to if he would have connected with the hit a little harder, and he would have fallen down or something. Now you're looking at how much money you're going to lose when he sues you, because he will. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into that. I'm not pro what he did. I am pro verbal altercation in that situation.
Same.
Just scare the guy.
Love the trash talk.
He won't do it again. I guarantee that guy doesn't do it again. Like, I'll say that.
It's funny because I've heard Barkley say, I'm not on social media because I can't I'd say something I shouldn't say. Mm-hmm. And I don't go to the bars because you get a couple drinks in me and some joker says something trying to be a smart ass, I'm going to end it. And I think that a lot of athletes are that way. That's probably why a lot of them do not go out, because you're going to get a guy who's going to try to be Joey Badass and come up and challenge you. Because, again, like you just said, that guy has nothing to lose.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, like, those guys, man, you're playing a baseball game. You're freaking tense. Like, it's tense up. That's a tense environment.
Agreed.
You're competing at a high level. That's why we see guys get ejected. That's why we see guys break their bats and stuff like that. So it is understandable why we're coming right off that. Someone say some stupid things to you. Anthony Rendon, we know all the struggles he's been through lately. We know that game didn't go well for him or the team. It's understandable how it gets to that. I doubt we see Anthony Rendon or that fan either do anything like that again.
Yeah.
5 games seems reasonable. I bet he even gets it down a little bit, maybe, if he appeals it to 4. But it is what it is. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
I gotta do some Spanish.
Yeah, let's get out of here. I need to go. I am knee deep in L to the OG Roy right now, rewatching the season to get ready for the new season. So I got to get back in there and get caught up. Anyway, thank you everybody for joining us. As always, we greatly appreciate you. We're gonna get back to the mailbag next week. I know we've taken some time off. We've had a lot to talk about. Opening day rosters. We've got a lot of news going on. We'll get to some more stuff around the baseball league on Thursday. Some more things to hit on. Cardinals have an off day on Thursday, so we'll be back with you guys then, where we can digest the Braves series, preview the Brewers, and kind of go around the league and some other things. Apple, Spotify will be up much more regularly for those of you who listen. Thank you so much for those of you who do that. For those of you joining us on YouTube, please, again, hit the subscribe button. We would greatly appreciate that. Keep leaving the comments. We love it. You can find us right here on our Twitters, and obviously you can find us always on our Hard9 Twitter and Facebook. So thank you again. Everybody have an amazing night. Big 2 games. Enjoy them, and we will talk to you soon. Go Cards.